the first part of this webinar is regarding the career, and the second part is regarding oil and gas. Okay, so first part is useful for you whether you are in oil and gas or any other career or any other kind of industry as well. So let's start with, without much taking your time. Uh, so let's play a mind game, very simple game. Those if you have a pen and pencil or paper, you can grab it. If you do not have, it doesn't matter. You can simply use your mind to draw a picture. Okay, so let's consider your career. On x-axis you can see number of years, that is 20, 25, 30. So I am expecting that you all are at the age group of 20 to 25. Very rarely somebody could be in 30s. So I am in my 40s right now, and I still have to go 60. That's my retirement age. So I am at mid of my career. So x-axis is the year, or the years have been written. Y-axis is the career. What you're supposed to do, take a 15-second time and try to draw a graph, like starting from say 20. So y-axis is a career, and how you think that your career should go. So I give you 15-second time, so just draw it. I'll hold till that. So my guess was right, and one more game I'll try to play with you. Now these are the shapes. Okay, now these shapes are like figure number 1, 2 and 3. One is a straight line, second is a zigzag line, and third is again a straight line. But figure number 1 and 3 are little different. Okay, now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to draw a picture using this one of this figure. Means if you choose figure number 1, draw a picture using this line. If you choose figure number 2, you can draw whatever you want, and accordingly figure number 3. So again I will wait for 20 seconds this time, and just try to draw. If you want to draw in your mind, doesn't matter. So most of you might have drawn this kind of picture, either in mind or on paper or something similar to that, or probably a house or something, kind of. So if my guess is right, just let me have yes in chat box. I'm guessing you correctly. So this is what I'm guessing is a mindset. Okay, so your expectations are like this, that is, your career should grow every year. Today if you're earning say 15,000 Indian rupees, then next year you should earn 20,000, 25, 50. Likewise, every year it should grow. So now if you see this, when you try to have a picture out of it with a single line, which is your expected career, you could not get a good picture or a good story out of it. So career is something, where you start and where you end. So if you see this, the reality, the first figure, if you think about your career, it's a pessimistic approach. It means pessimistic means nothing is going to good in my life. I'm not going to do anything in my life. So that's not good at all. So just take it away. We all are good enough to survive and to excel and to contribute. Now the second kind of career path, which is a zigzag one, which is called as a entrepreneurship career path. And the third one is the optimistic, which is a common mindset, which you probably might have drawn. So probably 95 people out of 100 or 90 out of 100 will be drawing the third option. The second one is the entrepreneurship career, in which there is a zigzag. So there are ups and there are downs. Okay, could be because of any reason. It could be political reason, it could be war, it could be market crisis, it could be personal reason, anything. So what happens is, why we get frustrated? We expect something and we get something. So there are expectations and there are realities. So the gap between this expectation and reality is nothing but the frustration. And that's why you can see a common human being is generally frustrated by anything. So mathematically, if you want to represent, you are all engineers, I can say that expectations minus reality is nothing but the frustration, right? We always expect high, we get less. So the difference is, if you want to control your mind in your career as well, because it is a 40-year long, so what you should do is pattern, if it is known to you that my career, instead of going as a straight line, it's going to be up and down, and I'm ready for it, then what can happen is, you know the reality. If you put efforts into it and a belief system, the belief could be, first belief has to be within yourself, second has to be your parenting, your family, third has to be your teacher or guru, right? And definitely the god or your religion, whatever religious things you have in your mind. So when you have everything together, you can go beyond expectations. Now one of the fundamental thing here is the first line. If you see in here, I'll try to have a laser pointer or a pen probably. Yeah, so if you see in here, this line was the expected career path. Now most of us are not ready for this, but you have to think in mind, if you want to throw a ball a long distance, then you have to take your hand back. So your hand has to be back enough, then only you can throw it. So this is called coming back or compromising sometimes in case of money, especially. Take a set down, set back, and once again trigger. So next time when you go higher than this. Next time when you go, you should go higher than this. And this path actually can take you like a exponential growth. So though you don't believe that, generally the successful people always take a setback, and they know that they want to take a setback or they have to take a setback. They do not get frustrated, they use a time. That's why in India, Mukesh Ambani, the greatest businessman, he has earned more money during the lockdown period, right? Now what we do for you, so what you have to do is, you have to make your why clear. Why clear in the sense that, why you are doing engineering, why do you want to go in oil and gas, why not in automobile, what you would do. So every time you have to ask question to yourself why it is so, and if you get the answer, then how to do it, it is very simple. Okay, so let's try. Now let's start with the college days thoughts. Why? Because probably all of you are fresh graduates or less than 2 4 5 years experience, so you are kind of a fresh engineers. The syllabus is outdated, that is the first thought in mind. This is not what industry works on, so this is what we think in college when a professor teaches us. I just want to clear my subject, I just want to gain magical 40 marks or 50 marks or 35 marks, whatever the passing marks are. First class can be managed by the term work in the sense assignments which you can copy. So you can get 40 marks in the theories, in term work you can get say 80 out of 100, and when you average it out, you get 60. So your first class is because of the term work mark, which is actually many a times could be a copy business. Nowadays very simple, internet business, just Google search it. I'll try to clear the subject, that means pass the subject in 3 days crash course. Means I'll take a 3 days crash course with some professor. Those who are outside of India, in India there are these kind of crash courses available wherein a lot of competition is there. So they make your preparation in 3 days time. I did not read books, notes. Google and YouTube are okay for me. So I don't need books. Notes are okay. Google engine is okay. YouTube is okay. It's very fine. These are the thoughts in college days. But when you come to reality, right, you will find that all the critical calculations do have Newton's laws of motion. They have current and energies. They have hyperbola, parabola, Pythagoras theorem, area, parallelogram, star delta connections. This is all being still used in the industry. Very big decisions are being taken on these formula, and unfortunately when I see the engineers nowadays, or even probably during my career, very few engineers have their fundamentals correct, and there is nothing beyond fundamentals. So that's why this is the first lesson, that you have to have fundamentals very strong. So basics are evergreen, so they are not going to die anytime. Now let's go further up. Let's match the pair. Now the Indian students can match these pairs very easily. These are the famous personalities from India. So let's match the pair. This is Kapil Sharma. So I know he's over here. He's a stage artist. He is great. Sachin Tendulkar. He is Bharat Ratna, the highest award in India. He plays cricket, and he is our prime minister. Probably this may be a known figure to all, and he needs a platform to talk. So what is a common in all? The common thing is each one of them needs a platform to deliver. Now this is a sports person. Unless until he has a ground to play, he cannot say that I am the best. He's an actor. Unless he gets the stage, he cannot say I am the best. He's a leader. He cannot say I am the best. So you need a platform, right? So when we say a job, if you think job as a platform to excel yourself, you can do wonder. But if you look at a job as a money sourcing machine, then you will be doing only 8 to 5, and all those 8 hours at the place of work sometimes becomes disastrous, like how to spend time. Okay, so what is your platform? So for you, your college could be platform, because you get time to learn. You have got a lab to do experiment. You have got professors. You have got conferences to attend. Anything, and you have ample of time. When you come to company is a next level of platform, wherein whatever you have learned, you can apply. You can learn more. You get a cozy environment. Colleges may not be air conditioned. Company is. College may not give you a tea on your desk. Company gives a good set of computer. You get it. A good software. You get it. And the furthermost, you get the real life experiences, real projects. So company, this is very important for you. This could be a very good platform, and if you excel further, you can represent your company to the national level, international level, and some of you can go and even do something for a world. Entire world can see you with hope at that time. One thing we must understand, there are only two types of joy. One is a joy of creation, and there is a second joy of contribution. There is no third kind of joy actually, in true meaning. You have to either create something, you get a joy out of it, or you have to contribute. For example, you are in a college and your group of students are taking part in one of the competitions, so you can contribute. In company you can contribute. So everywhere you can contribute if you cannot create. Creation in the sense, probably a scientist creates something, or a company, a single person may be having some patent out of it. So if you can do it, wonderful. But even if you cannot, you can contribute towards the creation, and that's the real joy. Okay, so now these are the international personalities actually you may be knowing. Like these all are the CEOs. He's Sundar Pichai, then she is from Chanda Kochar, ICICI Bank. He's from Twitter and all. I just forgot his name, that's why I'm not going to say. You, if you remember, please write it. Now all these are known to us because they are from Google or Twitter or something, and all are these. Now these are the, I can say, the social workers from India, but all of them have got same contribution. In fact, I would say the contribution from the social worker is much higher because it is done without any expectations. But still, even if I try to see the common thing in all these four, all of these four guys are not the owner of the company, they are the employees of the company. So being an employee also can be a great achievement if you take the company to a next level and the company is known after you, after your name, right? So entrepreneur does not mean you have to start the business, you can change the business, you can grow the business. Okay, so you need not be owner or founder being entrepreneur. The meaning of entrepreneur is who organizes, very important, manages and assumes the risk of a business or enterprise. So when you say organize, your work has to be organized, your workplace has to be organized. When you say manage, you have to manage people, manage time as well. And when I say risk, when you are being engineer, you may not be knowing that you have to assume many things because you do not know what's going to happen. So all those, everything together makes you a good engineer. So that's why it is very much important that whenever you join a company, you should know the vision, mission and the values of the company. Most of us do not know this, we just go behind the name of the company, that I just want the biggest company to work in. Definitely you should work in the biggest company, but you have to check the vision, mission and values of the company. If you align with them, then that's the best company for you. Now let's start our journey. Now when I say our journey, it's not a 100-meter race, so it's a, you know, it's a marathon race, it's a long race. So your professional career is of 40 years. Okay, it's a long time. So it's a double what you have done or you have spent in your school or college, double of that. So just imagine that if I tell you go back to school once again, finish from first standard to graduation and once again do that, how much time it would be? You will say straight away no to it. That much amount of years are in your hand. Now common mistake what we do in career is we overestimate the 1 year. What we say, in 1 year I will do this, I will do that, I will take this kind of course, or I will have a excel into it, or I'll lose my 10 kg weight or something like that. 1 year overestimation, I'll be on time, and that's the reason every new year you have a resolution, but that never gets fulfilled. But at the same time we underestimate 10 years. Means what you can do in 10 years of life if you do it with a strategy. So if you have a good strategy in your career, then you can go way longer in 10 years. See, most of the time what happens with the engineers who are just college pass out, say there are 4 guys, 1 2 3 4, he got the job, so he is now here. The second person gets the job and the company sends him to abroad, so he's here. Third person doesn't get the job at all. Fourth person somehow manages to get some kind of job, so now he is not happy. See, this is the first year. We have to go 40 years, so you never know what's going to happen. So you have to check where you are at the mid of the career, and you should not get frustrated here. If you do not have a job, you have more 8 hours than others do have. Why? Because they are spending these 8 hours plus 2 hours of travel. You have those hours, so learn something, make yourself educated, acquire the skills, not only the education. Your communication has to be better, your personality has to be better, your physique has to be good. So you can work on this, you can work on your hobbies. At the same time you can find out what is your real passion if you get the time. Now this fellow doesn't have a time. Now he also doesn't have a time, and he is now forced fully into some other nation, and he may get fascinated, so he may not be able to take some decisions which this fellow can do. So do not get frustrated. Each one is traveling at different time frame. don't compare. And this is what happens. What we do is we start comparing. So we are not happy, or I would say we are not unhappy when you do not get something. You are not unhappy here. You are unhappy because this person has got something. This person has got something better. So you are comparing. So if you have a height of say 5 feet 2 inches, and if you are only single person in a room, then you feel I'm okay. But if somebody 5 feet 6 inches comes in, he feels I'm a shorter. A 6 feet comes, he feels I'm a shorter. So stop comparing. Compare yourself. Do not compare with others. Okay. So the next thing is you have to enjoy the journey. So this is the journey, you know, and not the destination. Now, how to know your passion? So this is very tough question to answer actually. How to know your passion? So I'll just give you two hints, two questions. If you can answer them yourself, then you will understand your passion. What you will do if you get 10 crore Indian rupees? So 10 crore Indian rupees, probably people from outside of India can consider $1 billion US dollars. What they will do? Okay. So if you can write down, not now, probably after some time, what you will do with 1 billion rupees. If you want time, I can wait for 15-20 seconds. At least think in mind what you will do. So our answers would be something like, I will buy home for me, for my parents. I will have a world tour. I will keep some money in the banks. I'll invest something in property, something in share market. That could be the answers. I hope my answers are matching with your answers. That is what I will do with this much amount of money. Okay, probably I'll take out of 10 crore, 1 crore for a house, 1 CR for world tour, then probably 2 CR for bank investment, then probably 4 then 2 CR in something share market. Somebody can say I can do a business with 3 CR. Okay, something like this. And this is the way 2 plus 2 4 plus 2 6. I'll just put it here 4. But my dear friend, when you get 10 crore rupees, first of all you have to pay 30% taxes. Don't forget that. Pay the tax first. Otherwise you will be in jail. Okay. Now the second question is further more important. What you will do free of cost entire life if someone takes care of your shelter, food and clothing? Means I give you something like a house to stay, a small one, then food every day 2 times 3 times, and a clothing, say 1 pair of shirt or 2 pair of shirt and trousers every 6 months. But you will not be getting salary out, no salary, nothing. You have to just do the work free of cost. What you will do? If you are not able to think that what I can do free of cost, okay, then it's a big issue. Okay, it means that you do not know what you want. If somebody says I'll do nothing free of cost, right, then it means that he doesn't know his passion. If somebody says I'll do music, for example, for me my answer is music. I'll do some music shows or some music thing. If this answer does not come over here, means what I will do with 10 crore rupees, or mine one could be music plus a school. If this answer doesn't come here, it means that whatever I'm doing is not my passion, and I do not know what is my passion is. For those, if these two answers do match, it means that they know what they want to do in life, and they should do that, whatever time it takes to get successful into it, but they should do that, right? So you have to know your passion, because 40 years otherwise you will be always unhappy, always, because every year company is giving you some 5%, 10%, 15% growth. You are changing the jobs, but after changing from one job to another, you are happy for certain amount of time, say 1 year, 2 year, then again you are unhappy, you want to have a third job, again after 4-5 years you want a next job. At least like a country in India wherein there are multiple opportunities are available. If you do not have, then you have to stick with one job, and therein you are sticking with the job without interest into it, right? So this is very important. So now there are two things: you should do whatever you like, or else whatever you are doing, you should start liking that. You should start loving it. For example, I am into engineering, I am doing stress analysis, that is what my profile. I wanted to become a layout engineer. Layout means who does the design. So I wanted to become this, but I couldn't become this. So I am now a stress engineer. But now then, after a couple of years of frustration, then I started studying this subject in a deep way, and then I started liking it. And now, if you ask me, it's kind of a arranged marriage, you can see. Okay. So now, if you ask me what you can do best, then I can say this is what I can do best, and this is I like the most now. Even I like this better or more than my music hobby, which I have kept aside to have a successful path here. And if you ask me, am I happy? Then yes, I am happy what I'm doing right now. So I have changed my mindset. If you can do it early days of your life, bingo. If you cannot do, then at least start taking interest into it. Okay. So now a simple thing: you should know your friend and enemy. These are your friends, at the same time these are your enemy as well. So mobile is very good thing to have, laptops, Google, very good thing to have, but at the same time this can eat away your time. Now sometimes you have, probably, I don't know, we have something called Amazon Prime, or something like Netflix, this kind of channel. Probably the subscription to this channel is suppose $10 per month. Now you feel that I am paying $10 for entire 1 month for this. No, that's wrong. You are paying much more. You are giving a time of 1 month, say 30 days, into 2 hours a day. So you are giving 60 hours of your life of per month basis. So the value of this 60 hours is much higher than the $10 if you invest in the right way. So that's why whether to go here or not is your decision. And at the same time, always you have to work health wise and career wise today if you want to have a better future after 10 years. Since you were studying mathematics 10 years back, engineering few years back, that's why you are in a better position to get a job today than probably somebody else, or you will be earning better money because you did it 10 years back, 15 years back. So if you want to have a better career 10 years after, you have to work today. So every today will be giving you a better tomorrow. Okay, now once you know your passion, this is my advice, personal advice: stop thinking about success, whether I'm successful or not. Stop thinking about money unless until you are the sole earner in your family and entire family is on you. If that kind of crisis is there, then yes, you have to think about money. But if you have a good support, stop thinking. I'm not saying you don't earn it. You stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about salary. Stop thinking about turnover if you are doing business. Okay, at least for first 3 years. I wish 5 years, but considering today's time, at least 3 years. Dedicate your time and energy. This is important. Not only time, the energy as well. Energy in the sense, you may be having the highest energy in the morning, then you have to study in the morning. If you have highest energy in the evening, some of you may be having, you study night or evening time. So it's not only the time. If you give night 2 o'clock where you are sleepy, you don't have energy to acquire knowledge and information in your field. So you have to have a CV or a resume of a person which is easily available on internets. Many good CVs you will find. What a person knows, which you would like to know within next 10 years. If it is a skill or an art or a sport, you have to practice it to the extent that it should not go wrong. In music we call it as a riyaz. Riyaz means continuous practice. You have to practice in such a way that even intentionally, even if you want to go wrong, you cannot go wrong. In engineering, if you want to go, if somebody asks you what is the yield strength of A106 grade B material, then you should able to say that it is 35,000 psi. So it cannot be 34,999, it cannot be 35,001, it will be 35,000, whatever time they ask you. Read the CVs, resumes, as I told you, your idols, your mentors. Now, many a times we think a person is lucky, how successful he is, he has got a good job. We try to copy the success, that I should also get a success. But you should not do that. You have to copy the efforts first. Try to copy the efforts, because success you may get or may not get. You don't know that. No, none of the successful person, or probably very few of them, were knowing where they were heading. But 99.99%, the first generation successful people were not knowing. Michael Jordan was not knowing what he's going to be. Usain Bolt was not knowing where he would be. They were just trying and trying and trying, and this happens. If it doesn't happen, it's a bad luck for you. Okay, the efforts are in your hand, so you can have a same efforts as that of successful. So many a times we think the person is lucky. What is the definition of luck? Luck is nothing but a combination of your preparedness. You have to be prepared, plus you have to be alert. I'll tell you one story. In India, there was a singer whose name is Mohammed Rafi, a very great legendary singer. Like probably you can say 9 out of 10 songs of film used to be sung by this fellow. But one time he wanted to go to some pilgrimage, so he was not available. And at that time, a chance was given to the another singer called Kishore Kumar. And from that time, the second singer, overtook him, probably became more famous after that. But if at that time the another singer, if he wouldn't have the preparation and alertness, then he wouldn't have been lucky. The lucky person is the one who is prepared. It happens many a times in sports. One is injured, second gets the chance. He plays so well that he gets permanent place into the team, but he is prepared for it. That's the way you have to be prepared. Now, few days before I took interview, I take many interviews, and most of the times I find that the the engineer who is appearing for the interview, many a times he says that, sir, I was not prepared. Then my simple question, why you have come here if you are not prepared? You shouldn't go to any of the company to meet if you are not prepared. You have to be well dressed, you have to be clean. For example, if I am in my office, the client doesn't visit every day, but if there is some sudden visit of a client, and being my own office, I am the owner of an office, if I am not in good attire, that single day can give a bad impression to the client. Okay, so you have to be prepared each and every moment, and you have to be prepared for each and every interview. Do not go unprepared. Okay, if you choose a job, first 5 years choose a company where you must get maximum exposure and not maximum facilities. Now I have been to one of the biggest company in Sharjah, oil and gas company, a consulting company, EPC company, wherein the lot of facilities were given to the trainee engineers, and I found all the trainee engineers have become lazy. They were lazy, absolutely. So you have to have a company which is giving you exposure, and not the a high coffee and some dry fruits to eat whatever time you want to work. No, you need discipline. If you do not get good mentoring company, then you will spoil your career at early age. Choose the immediate managers, leaders to work under. A company name could be the great, but your manager may not be as great. You may be having a small company, but your manager could be good. So you have to, if you get both at one place, wonderful. So you are the lucky person. So then don't leave that company. From 6 to 10 years, company where you get multiple exposures, means skills, leadership, software, etc. Wherein whatever you have learned in first 5 years, generally what happens, this company thinks that you are still training, so you may not get the exposure. So go to another company wherein, if you wish, you get the exposures. Write research papers, participate in the events, because this is what I call as a branding. Brand yourself. Okay. 11 to 15, company where you get maximum responsibilities, means you are the lead of the project, you are the manager, you can lead the team, right? And definitely a decent salary. So salary now you can definitely demand, because you can contribute. The job can be on your name, your CV could be given to the client. So it's not the company name on which the job has won, it's your name which is giving a job or a project to the company. Then start demanding the salary. Still I would say, when you're here, you're on 25% of your career path. So out of 40 years, you have just spent 10 years till now. So you still have 75% of the time. Okay. Now key qualities: patience. Many trainees, they think that when they go to a company, they should get a very good work, somebody should mentor them, they should get good facility. See, please keep in mind, some companies there to earn money. When you were in college, you were paying the fees. You were in university, you were paying the fees. Here you are demanding the salary. So what company expects? Company expects that from day one you should be productive. So when they find that you are not productive, they may not give you the work immediately. You have to be patient. Okay. Persistence, in the sense, you have to do the things continuously. You should have very good habits and discipline. I am still struggling on few of the habits. Okay, because you cannot change the habits so fast. I have few good habits, I have still few bad habits, I am still struggling, I am working on it. Okay, so you have to continuously work on the habits. At least you are aware that your habits are not good. See, this is my personal statement. I would say your life is nothing but integration of your 24 hours. Integration and derivative you might have learnt in colleges. So whatever you do in 24 hours decides whatever you will be doing in entire life. And we ignore here. Why to do today? Why to do? What is the special in 2 days? Today is very much special. We do not know. Just self motivation very much needed, and I find many people lack on self motivation. Self motivation, in the sense, you have to bounce back. As I told you, each day is not same. The days are going like this, zigzag zigzag. This is not the money I am talking, this is I am talking the mood, your frame of mind, and these are your days. So when you are going down, something is not happening the way you wish, you have to bounce back. Okay, there should not be somebody else you should give the targets. Many people think that if you give me target, I will achieve it. Why you need somebody else? Why you cannot set your own targets? If you, because a company doesn't need a highly brilliant person. We don't need superpower, super brain. We don't need. We need a person who is consistent, loyal, patient, self-motivated. Otherwise, first year or first 3 months in the company, everybody works very well, all are punctual, but slowly we diminish down. So self-motivation is, you have to listen to good videos. YouTube is a very good channel for that. Good books, and it's like going to a gym to do exercise. So this is your mental exercise to keep yourself motivated. Always be positive, talk positive, think positive. Otherwise, you will start being happy in your unhappiness. Means you will start complaining. If you do not have a complaint in a particular day, you will become unhappy. That I don't have any problem today, I am unhappy. There are people who daily complain, and they slowly start finding a pleasure into it, that I am very happy that I am unhappy. Okay. Knowing is not doing. Very important. Doing is doing. It means that, sir, whatever you're telling is perfectly all right. I know this, sir. Why you are telling me everything? Yes, because whatever I told you is a common sense. You don't need to go to school to learn that. There's so many videos. So knowing, everybody knows. Like I am giving you lecture on this career path. You can also give a lecture to someone. Equal number of minutes, hours. But you are also struggling the way I am struggling in few cases. So doing is doing. So think one, we know the Newton's first law of motion. Unless until you apply a force, things won't move. So you have to apply a force, and the thing has to be moved from one place to another. Then only I say the work is done. If the thing doesn't move, then no work is done. So only thinking, only knowing, it means like there is a wall, and to this wall which is rock solid, I am pushing it, but wall is not moving. I am tired, but I am not being paid. Why? Because wall hasn't moved, I haven't worked, no salary. So thinking in mind, you have to give results. Results means you have to act. Okay. So what we do is we spend a lot of time. So time is something, limited. So what we are doing, we are thinking a lot and we are acting very little. I am saying you think less and act more. Then only you will get change in future. Okay. My journey in very short way. I was a good student at school. I'm B mechanical from MCT RGIT. Then I worked for 15 years. Then I did MTech from VZTI, which is not listed here. It's a master's degree. Then I have won the international competition. Then I have been there in Middle East. I have written MTech here. Okay. Then I have written 5 or odd ASME paper. I can do FE a little bit, CFD, stress, water hammer, few awards on my name. I started my own company after 15 years of experience. I have completed 400 plus smaller big projects, 50 plus more clients. I am running online pipe stress analysis course. Long way to go. Now, could you see that everywhere when I was talking, I was saying I. This is very important for everyone because you love this person the most. So if you want to have a good career, then you should have a good mentor. A book could be a mentor. You need not have a physical mentor. Okay. So with this, I am coming back to the point. Now I am going to talk about mechanical engineering career. Now it's, I think, almost 1 hour. So those who wish to leave, they can definitely leave. Now because the first part is useful for you to enter lifetime. Now I'm coming to the oil and gas. In oil and gas, the career could be lucrative career. You can have a good money earning, reputation earning, everything. So I'm talking mainly for mechanical engineers. Now in oil and gas, there are two things I can say. One is a plant or process plant, and one is the design or engineering. Okay. So in engineering as well, there is something called EPC, engineering procurement and consultancy, and there could be a pure consultancy. I would say consultancy. Okay. Now I'm going to talk on this much because I am from this field. So in consultancy, you can have a piping design or layout, wherein you can have a good drawings, 3D drawings, 3D models. There are so many software like PDS, PDMS, SP3D. Herein, if I would say that in your engineering, if your liking was more to solve the theory problems rather than the numerical problems, or you're good at drawing, you're good at communication with others, getting the term work on right, then design and layout is good for you. But if you are good at mathematics, physics, numerical problems, something solution kind of stuff, then a stress analysis is a good path for you. You can become very good material engineer as well. even if your theory is good, because material engineer is also an expert. You can become a static engineer who can design a pressure vessel, a tank, a storage tank. You can do calculations based on that. You can do rotating equipment designs as well, like compressor, pumps, turbines, all those stuff. If you are good at communications, getting the work done by others, like you can just tell to your friend that I want this assignment to be done, and then you copy afterwards. You can manage somehow. You run the show. You are very good at social events in the college. You're good at social event in the university, or like you are a group leader. Then you can even think of projects. If you like to build something, uh, experience something, supervise something, you don't like to be at home, you don't want to sit at one place, then site supervision, site maintenance, site operations, they are also very good. You can become very good site engineer, site in charge. So many people, since you have to stand in under the sun, they don't want to go for this, but that's not the case. This is also a very star mark profile wherein you can become in charge of a site. You can get very good facilities like township facilities, car facility, education facility. So do not ignore this field as well. So when I say a specialist job, it means that something what you know which others are not knowing. Okay, and that is the reason you are highest paid for that. But for that you have to be very good at academics, you have to be very good into software. So you can become a material expert, you can become a stress analysis expert, you can become a vibration expert. Very important thing. Now people are after me to start a dynamic analysis course, and I'm not getting time for that. I'm really sorry for that, but I'll do it. Flow simulation, this is also one of the things which most of the engineers are not knowing. Flow simulation. Flow simulation in the sense, if I consider a oil and gas industry, what's going to happen? The oil is either going to run through a pipe, or it will be under some kind of equipment. So what happens is, the inside flow pattern is known to a process engineer or a hydraulic engineer or a flow engineer or a hydraulic engineer. And this part, the mechanical part of it, the shell of this, the cover of the pipe, the material part of it, this is known to a mechanical engineer. There are very few engineers who know both of them, like flow as well as mechanical. So if you ask some engineer what will happen with the flow, he may not be able to tell you if he knows only mechanical, and a person knows only flow, he doesn't know mechanically what happens. If you know both, wonderful. So we are the company wherein we do both. Finite element analysis, wherein you can solve many problems, but you should know the subject, not only the software. Computational fluid dynamics, wherein you can solve many problems of flow related. So these are the areas wherein you can invest few of the years, your part-time time, your evening time, your Saturday, Sundays, and you can acquire the skills and you can go to the next level. So these are the specialist jobs. So what we do for you? What we do for you is nothing but, we have a training course. Definitely herein we are trying to tell you more about that. So we have this Proton online training wherein we are training you in piping stress analysis or pipeline stress analysis. If you wish to learn FEA, we run live courses for you. We will be doing dynamic, I hope, as soon as possible. So this is what we do, and we are not the college professors. We are the one who have the experience in industry. So we try to tell you that what is there, the live case studies, the live examples, and at the same time we have dedicated HR team who gives you the job opportunity. So we do not commit any job, but we try for you, and till now almost we have placed all of our students somewhere either in our office or in our client's office. So we have got a very good strike rate, but still we do not give any commitment. False commitment we don't do. Okay, so now there are a few questions which I would like to take up, which you have given us in writing first, and then we will stop this webinar. Uh, so I am not talking much about our course. I do not want to spend your time, waste your time. Those who are interested can definitely, uh, get in touch with Komal. She can give you more information. Now, how to find opportunity to work abroad in this field? Now, here in my suggestion is, first 5 years do not go abroad. The reason is very simple. Even if you go to abroad, anything can happen. Suppose today if you go to abroad, there are cases which I know, they have gone to abroad and within 6 months of time they lost their job, because abroad it is something like hire and fire. uh, Government can change the rule. For example, in UAE nowadays they want to have more local people, so people from other countries they can lose their job, and if you lose your job and if you come back, then nobody knows you in this field. So that's why I would say you have to be here first. The second problem with the abroad opportunities, as soon as you go, you start earning good money, better money, and you feel that for example, Indian salary is 15,000 to start with. If you go to abroad you may get 1 lakh rupees, which is 6 times higher. Probably 50,000 is your expense, 50,000 you are saving. Still, it is 3 times. So you start getting more money and you feel like you worth more, but you do not worth more. You are actually doing a very low end job. You are earning more because of the currency difference. It's not your worth. So my suggestion is, go to abroad at least after 5 years. So at least when you come back, you have good opportunities. Now in Corona, many people have to come back, but they could not find a job because there are no references with them. Second thing is, when you go there, it is multinational culture. You can find somebody from Syria, Libya, US, UK, Australia, India, Sri Lanka, Philippines. So nobody gives a special attention to you. You do not get mentor so easily because everybody is there to earn money, and everybody feels insecure. They feel that if we are four, I have to think about myself first. So if I tell you something, you probably go up, those kind of politics. So they may not mentor you. So that's why once you cross 5 years, still it is difficult to get the opportunity. But with 10 years of experience, you have wonderful opportunities in oil and gas in UAE, then Saudi Arabia, then Qatar, then Libya, Nigeria, Kuwait, Oman, so many countries. Okay, so very wonderful opportunities. So you can still earn the money in some later stage of your life, if not now. What is the qualification required for this course? So he's asking for our course. So we are expecting B mechanical, B production. B means Bachelor of Engineering in India. It's a graduate engineering, or you can even say B Tech or BSc engineering, whatever it is. Or even chemical engineer also can become a stress engineer. He has to put some little extra efforts, but still he can become. So that's the only qualification we need to have this course. And if you are already from this industry, say for example you are a civil engineer doing work at site, but not for civil, for mechanical piping, and you want to learn this, you can still learn, because civil basics and mechanical basics are very much similar. A career path for mid senior engineer. Okay, now here I assume that you have a 10 years of experience but not in stress. Probably you are at layout, you are at site, you could be in some other discipline, and you want to shift. Here in my suggestion is very clear. I always Chaki was asked this question, so for him it's a good opportunity. But if somebody else who is in hearing, and if he wants to change it, he should be ready to go back, because in stress engineering there is something called modeling, analysis, and documentation. These are the three phases. It means that if you want to do an analysis of this pipe which is coming up to the pump, if you want to do the analysis, you have to model this, and for modeling It's a laborious activity. Like you have to open the vendor drawing, you have to open the isometric pump drawing, look at the line list, P&I diagrams, and do the modeling out of it, node by node, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The model gets prepared. Then you have to do the analysis. It's a matter of practice. Analysis is a matter of practice plus knowledge. But even though you have a knowledge, you have done the course, you have to practice it. And then the documentation. So generally in stress analysis, if you are early 5 years of your career, you should shift. But if you have crossed 5 years, you have to think whether I want to become a stress engineer, because you have to go and you may have to sacrifice your salary and go back as a trainee engineer and start once again, because your senior, if he's having 5 years of experience and you are 10 years of experience, for this 5-year guy it is difficult to control you. Okay, so that's why people don't prefer. But having said that, if you are 10 years experience in layout, you can acquire enough knowledge by doing this course that you stand out or stand special in the crowd of similar layout engineer, or you are a project engineer, so you know something technically better, so you can, grab a better job opportunity. And if you're ready to sacrifice your few years of life, not 10 years, I'm saying at least 3 years of time, that I am ready. Now one of my colleague in my office, his name is Sundaram. Now he is having 10 years of experience in piping layout and projects, so he has sacrificed his salary and all other aspects, and he is working as a trainee engineer with me. He knows that within 3 years he is going to acquire a knowledge equal to 5 to 6 years, and after 3 years he will excel. So you can still change the career with some strategy in mind. Why pipeline and piping work differently while on analysis? The reason for that is, first of all, there are two aspects. One is called upstream oil and gas, and second is called as a downstream oil and gas. So what I say upstream means either there is a sea from which the oil or gas is being taken out, or there is a sand desert from which the oil is taken out. So the countries who are producing gas or oil, like Middle East, they are into this domain, because their purpose is only to take out oil, do a little bit of separation of the oil, and then ship the crude oil to the other countries. Like for example India. Now India, what they will do, they do not have a crude, but they have a cheap manpower, so they will import the crude and they will do all the refinery out of it. Refinery means processes, which needs actually high level of engineering skills as well, a bigger manpower, a bigger infrastructure, softwares, all those things. So labor is cheap in India, China, Indonesia, Malaysia. So you will find downstream activities are more here. And when I say upstream, I want to take the oil from one end to another. So the line is long in kilometer. The pipe runs long in kilometer. It has got high pressure, but temperature wise it is low. And in downstream analysis, the pipe runs in a short distances from one equipment to another equipment. It may have a high pressure, or may not have a high pressure, but temperatures are always high, because you have to heat the oil to very high temperature, then you have to generate the power to run the plant. So you are dealing here with a temperature say up to 500 degrees Celsius, wherein here in upstream you are dealing to a temperature less than 120 degrees Celsius. And that's why the code are different, the skills are different, the way they do the pipelines. I'm not saying who is superior, who is inferior. Both are having the great engineering skills to be known, but the skills are different. The knowledge domain set is different, and that's why upstream oil and gas and downstream oil and gas has demarcated as simplistically. This is called as piping, and this is called as pipeline. And that's why they work in a different way. Herein you are directly into the field, cross country, like you have to cross 200 kilometer, 100 kilometer. So you have the physical challenges like soil liquefaction, landslides, earthquakes, okay, uh, the right of way problems, access problems, river crossing, road crossing, railway crossing. So these are the physical challenges. So you have greater challenges on field here. So if you are good at field, then you are very much in demand. You know what to do. You should know how to solve a real life problem at site. In downstream, it is more about different equipments, like whether do you know compressors, turbines, heat exchangers, plate type exchangers, columns, reboilers, pumps, air fin coolers, cooling towers, different kind of piping, jacketed piping, GRE pipe, FRP pipe. This is all comes in downstream, right? So here your domain knowledge is different, here your domain knowledge is different, and that's why they are different. I hope I have answered. What is the future of piping? Now this question probably because of the electric car which are coming up, or we are going away from petrol to somewhere else. So first of all, oil and gas industries, you can say from 1950s we have started, you know, taking out oil to a greater extent, or probably in early 1900 we have started with the steam engines and all, because in late 1850s there was a revolution, and then cars started building up in somewhere 1880 1900. So we are right now 100-year-old industry, you can see. The total life estimated at that time when the oil and excavation started, it was 250 years. So still I would say 100 150 years are there to go with. Now electric cars do is hardly, you know, how many, 5 years, 10 years. So it's still in a phase of childhood. So many problems are yet to come. We do not know how to dispose the lithium. In a country like India, we have less number of hydraulic plants. So we have less hydraulic plants. We have more coal-based power plant. So what we are doing, we are burning the coal and generating the electricity, and we are talking about the environment. So that's irony, right? So if you have a hydraulic power plant more, then there could be a situation. At the same time, if you know hydrogen driven cars, which is a new technology now, then yes, probably we can replace the electricity as well. But even if I say hydrogen plant or any other plant, or any, even if I want to make the batteries lithium, so there will be more amount of lithium. So wherever it comes, whatever plant you want to build, you have to have a equipment, and you have to have a pipe to run. You have to have a pressure, it means a pump, otherwise the plant cannot run. So the knowledge of piping layout, the same 3D softwares will get converted. So becoming a piping engineer does not mean that your future is in dark. You have a still bright future. You can think very much for oil and gas projects. There are ammonia projects, urea projects, fertilizer projects, medicines project, pharmaceutical projects. They are coming up everywhere. Piping is required. So if you have a piping knowledge, pressure and temperature is there, you have to do a stress analysis. So don't worry about it. Oil and gas lifespan, I have answered this question. I think you need not worry. Let's forget about 150 years. If I am too much of optimistic, at least 50 years we have yet to go. Okay, so we have very much good future. So I don't see that you will become a jobless or there will be some crisis out of it. And there are so many you know, countries like Nigeria or you know, developing countries. Even India is a developing country, but so many countries wherein still we do not have the refineries. They are still bringing up the crude from here. So if you find American market is saturated, UA is saturated, India is saturated, then people will go somewhere else. They will start doing it in other countries, and still you will earn the money. So don't worry. Do we get any technical knowledge? Yes, 100%. Probably you will get only technical knowledge, nothing else, and the practical knowledge, practical answers to the questions. Okay, at the same time, interview preparation. So this is what you will learn through our courses. Okay, so definitely. And even if you do not get a job in pipe stress after doing our course, you apply any other field, your interview will be better because we work on your basics. which are same everywhere. So even if you want to go automobile and they ask you a question in relation to your college strength of material and hydraulics, you will be able to understand or answer. Okay, so you won't be losing your money. At the same time, we have a money refund policy. So if you are not happy with the course, you listen to our first 4 modules. If you don't like it, we don't ask you a single question, we give you your money back. And all our reviews are pure reviews. They are not fabricated one. We are not writing ourselves. If you want to talk any of the student who have done the course in past, then you can do that. Will this webinar cover only stress analysis of piping? For this webinar it is general, and Syed, I hope even the first part of the webinar is very much useful to design your career. Is meeting applicable to experienced people? The meeting is almost over, but yes, experienced people also can enjoy the first part of the webinar. Pipe supporting knowledge, yes, you will be getting a pipe supporting knowledge in our course. We will be telling you how to support the pipe, which are the different kind of supports, how to choose them, how to run the Caesar software, how to do the model. Now we are introducing, along with the theory course, the 7 assignment. We are giving you the assistance live. Definitely we are charging extra fees for that, but all those 6 to 7 assignment you can do under the guidance of an engineer. That facility we are adding in. So there is a tutor, because I do not get time, so we have kept a tutor who can teach you. Is this training conducted on regular basis? Yes, recorded sessions are anytime you can start with, which is our online course. But if you want to listen to me live, then generally we run one live session at Mumbai once in 3 months. Okay, so our one batch is starting on 1st of September. The batch is already full. If you want to enroll for the next batch, you can do that. I need opinion. Future prospects like self-skill development in oil and gas field have sustainable growth, especially shifting from core engineering to the management. See, if you want to, again, your liking is very much important. If you are keeping only money in mind, that I want to go and earn good money if I become a good manager or project manager, then that's not the case. If you become an expert, okay, like for example, myself having a good amount of experience in stress analysis, I used to think in that way, that if I become a project manager, I will earn more money. But the project engineers are now thinking to change to the core. Core means your basics have to be good. You should be able to solve the problem. So your analytical skills have to be good, and it needs time. It cannot happen in 1 year, 2 year. Now I am, at least I would say, I have given 15 years of my career to be known as an expert. I do not call myself as an expert, but I am known as an expert. Wherein I have visited site several times. I have solved many problems. I have attended many meetings, webinars, seminars, delivered the lectures, read the code for several times, several hours, read the standards, read the technical paper, done some research work, written some technical papers which are accepted by good forum like ASME. So this is all a strategy which I started when I had 5 years of experience. When I had 5 years of experience, my dream was to start my company when I will be having 15 years of experience, and I did exactly the same. Okay, so when I found my passion as a stress engineer, I started learning, I started contributing, reading, writing papers, research, more work, more reading. I earned good amount of money for my family, and then I took a risk of starting a business, because if you want to start as a consultant, you should able to solve the problem. You should be able to talk right in the forum, that everyone else should listen to you. Otherwise, it's tough to get the job. But yes, if you want to shift into core, you can take a call.
Sir,
So I am very much thankful to all of you. I hope you have enjoyed this session, and looking forward to see you somewhere in some, as my client, as my colleague, as my student, in any form. So do remember us, do recommend us. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much.